And today's live is going to be focused on the news that's in the media currently about the attack on Iran and what is everybody's take um, the issue. I just recently did a video talking about repercussions of the attack on Iran and what does this actually mean to the American people. Uh, and really, it's what does it mean to everybody involved, really. Because as talk stands right now, I believe Russia and China are backing Iran, far as helping them with their nuclear systems, if any need be. Uh, as far as attacking the United States or retaliating against the United States, I don't think it's been made official yet to say that they are going to join forces with Iran to attack the United States. However, there is talk that Iran is partnering up with not only Russia and China, but also North Korea as well. And so that is like the deadly trio there. Like that's something that we as a people do not want to have issues with at this current time, especially in the state that we are in currently in the United States. Um, hold on real quick. I forgot to turn off my notification. Okay, sorry about that. Especially in the current conditions we are in the United States, and vulnerable we are. As far as the military, I come from a military family with military background. I'm not talking about just a couple. We talking years and years in our family. Our family is a military family. Um, so I am very passionate when it comes to our military and will stand behind our military in whatever they have to do. Because like I said, my opinions that I share is my opinion, not directed at the military themselves, because the military only can do what is being told to them to do. It's not like they have a choice. It's not like they can't not do something just because they feel like it's not right. A lot of soldiers do go into battle and into wars and do things that they don't necessarily agree with, but because that's their job and they're under contract, they have to do it. So that's not where I'm coming from. I'm coming on the end of the commander in chief that is actually enforcing these uh, things upon our military. Hello, Jordan. How you doing? It was hot yesterday. I know I couldn't hardly go outside yesterday. I had went to the store, walked to the store, and by the time I got there, I couldn't do it. I couldn't walk back to the house. I had to catch a cab home. It was too hot. Um, but yeah, so we're talking about. I don't know if this would be a good eye for you, Jordan, to be in, but we're talking about what everyone thinks about what is happening with the United States currently right now and the president attacking Iran. And the crazy part is he didn't even get approval from Congress before he did this. This is what really is mind-boggling to me, how they keep allowing him to do stuff without getting the approval. I mean, he is the face of the United States as far as the president, but he is not the final say so. Like there's still channels you have to go through before making decisions such as these that can alter our lives. And literally, he is not doing what he's supposed to do. Um, yeah, Jordan. Yeah, like I said, I don't think this is part of the program, especially if people are coming here saying some stuff. Um, Hi, Maida, how you doing? Well, we're talking about the current events that are going on in our nation right now, far as the on Iran. Um, our president has bombed Iran as of late last night, their time. It was overnight, their Friday night leading into Saturday, I do believe. But we got the news late. after our soldiers got back because of course that was a long journey. I think they left out of Missouri and they had to go over to Iran, which far as the the operation itself, like I said, it was magnificent as far as what that operation that they pulled off. Because literally, once those planes took off in Missouri, they never landed until they finished what they needed to do. So that required them to um, refueling in the air, which is which is a task all in itself. Over various locations that this had to happen. So I believe it was like 100. They said 125 aircraft to pull this off. Now the whole thing is, far as the nuclear site, the B-2 bombers that they use, from the research that I've did on my own, as far as information that I've also watched, those bombs literally they weigh like 30,000 pounds. However, the nuclear site that the Iranians were supposedly building these bombs that they now saying may or may not have been built, but they did have the means of doing so. It was located in a mountain, y'all, a mountain. It wasn't located in no facility. It was located inside of a mountain, deep, 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 deep inside the mountain. And this is not like I'm talking about something that is public knowledge, so it's free to talk on. But the bombs that they were using were 30,000 pound bombs that were designed to act as a drill. So once they're dropped from out of the sky, they go into until it hits its destination. Now, even with this 30,000 pound B-2 bomb, it literally, because of the location inside the mountain, it was, I believe, anywhere from 300 to 500 feet deep within the mountain. They literally had to drop bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb in order to ensure that this thing was annihilated. Okay, mind you, this was something that was not announced, thank God, because then you would have put our soldiers in some extreme dangers just on that alone. But um, it had to be precise. It had to be precise. Like, and from what I've heard, because I think they hit not this particular location, but they hit three other locations as well. But that was their main target. There was a total of 14 of these bombs that were dropped. 14 30,000 pound bombs. But once again, we're not talking about a building that they had to destroy. We're talking about a mountain. A mountain. This is God. This is God built. This is not man. This is not man. This is God built. Okay. So the thing is, we don't even know whether or not it was successful. Now he can, of course, President Trump is going to say it was a success and everything. The successful part was just home without being harmed. That was a successful part in my eyes. Now whether it was a success in demolishing the whole facility, that has yet to be released. That has yet to be confirmed because one, the whole in and out operation, going without being recognized, uh, was the whole reasoning as to how you can't even first confirm whether or not you did what you set it out to do to begin with. So there's absolutely no guarantee that you actually destroyed. We first got to get to the facility, y'all. Keep this in mind. You have to first get to the facility. So you have to literally destroy a mountain. You know, right now where I am, and there are several mountains that are surrounding us. And looking at a mountain and literally saying you demolished a mountain just seems like, I don't know. I guess I've never really saw where a mountain was demolished. Okay, so I mean, you literally had to get into the core of the mountain in order to penetrate the building. Whether or not he actually accomplished what he set out to do is still unknown to any of us, including them. Now, but what you did do is you literally done pissed off a nation. You literally have pissed off a whole civilization. Um, you got a sweet split. Okay. Yeah, but what you literally did is you pissed off a whole civilization, plus Russia and China. You know, these are countries that we're at right now, especially right now in the state that we're in. We don't need this. We got our own issues. Like, we got our own issues that we need to address and deal with. I mean, issues, might I add, that our president created for the most part. For the moment, that is orange behind in that seat. Uh, he has been creating problems. And here's the thing, he create problems to try to seem like the hero of the problems that he created. Like, you did this. Like, come on. And then one of the responses he made, sorry, not him. One of the responses that Vance made was when they was talking about China, Russia, and possibly North Korea joining alliance. Your response was, you could thank the former President Biden for that. No, we could thank you for this, because President Biden did not order this attack on these people land. He didn't do that. Not to, we have soldiers over there, y'all. We have over 20, I believe it's 25 bases, military bases, United States bases that are in those areas. Who do you think they're going to attack first? Really? They're going to go after our soldiers who are on that freaking ground. They're going to be the most vulnerable right now. So my prayers go out to them, because while Trump is sitting in the White House and whatever other place he want to sit at, these soldiers are out there vulnerable. They have their weapons. Yeah, they have been trained to protect themselves, but they're out there on the front lines. While this man who haven't served a day, not even 30 minutes, fighting for our country, is free to do whatever. And I think that's the biggest part of what's pissing me off. Um, Ali, hi, good morning. How you doing? So I just wanted to jump on here to see how we people, whether or not you're Americans or not, just the people in general, how are you feeling about the current events that are going on as we speak? You know, um, I know overall we all have been put on like a heightened alert. Um, and from what I hear, they said the most vulnerable time is within the first 48 hours. But that's the way we think. These people think long term. They don't think for the quick and now. Unlike president, they don't think like that. They think for the long term. They think of how they're going to defend themselves for the here and now. But they also look at the long term play out on uh, how we get back at them in the long run. Oh, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody for stopping on my channel and joining in on the conversation. Like I always say, I don't bite. I can't bite y'all on the screen, okay? So introduce yourselves. I love to hear from whoever is watching my channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel so you can stay in contact with me and stay informed. And we can have discussions. And I like to listen to everybody's perspective, you all. It's not just about what I believe or whatever. I do like to look into the lenses of other people and see why they see things for what they see things as. So my videos are always open. Other perspectives, as long as we keep it respectful, y'all. Respect me, I respect you. All entitled to our opinions. We do not have to agree. We can simply agree to disagree. But let's listen. In order for us to understand, in order for us to get a full perspective of things, we have to be willing to listen to everybody. Right? Stopping by, showing love and support. Oh, thank you, Trey. Thank you. I know how you feel about religion, but thank you for stopping by, y'all. Show some love to Live with Trey. Used to be Clones TV. Go over and show him support as well on his channels. But yeah, y'all, I really want to know, like, how do y'all feel? what y'all got going on like within yourselves about what is happening. Um, Ami I'm a Dilly. I'm a Dilly. I think I be trying to pronounce people names out too hard. But hi, how you doing? No disrespect. I'm trying to just make sure I say your name right. Hello from India. Hi, welcome. Thank you. Kenneth Richardson. Are you married? No, I'm not currently married. Mm-mm. I was at one point. But how does everybody feel about what's going on in current events? I'm going to pan over to some of the things that are being said on the news. Hold on, let me slide this up a little bit. And y'all, there's okay. Hold on, I think we're getting an update. They're doing an update on the site, on the nuclear site. I want to hear from somebody other than him, because of course he's gonna make it seem like it is all gravy when it ain't. I need to hear from somebody other than him, because I frankly, personally, I just don't believe nothing that come out of this man's mouth. Um, Nice hairstyle. Oh, I just threw my hair in a ponytail. That's all. But thank you. Look like noodles. You know what? I have had somebody said that, and when I was in the store, like I was like, you know what? I guess because it's really curly, I guess it is look like a little noodle. Ah, but thank you for the compliment. Uh, Hello. Let's see. They look like he don't mind giving us a freaking update. I really don't believe anything that comes out of this man's mouth. I really don't. No.
Still wearing regular bras? Stop that now.
Yeah.
You know, underwire and wire-free support technology. This. We begin with this video to our monitors out of the Middle East. Israel and Iran continue to exchange strikes for the sixth day in a row. According to Iranian state media, what you see here is smoke. It's coming out of one of Iran's missile production facilities. Meanwhile, President Trump is now considering joining forces with Israel to put an end
So
to
and no,
Iran's
oh no, this is on my phone. I'm on my internet's not slow.
Meeting yesterday. Now, these are the familiar faces CBS News can confirm attended that roundtable. One of the nuclear facilities being targeted is this one, the name Fordow. That site is buried almost 300 feet beneath a mountain and protected by significant air defenses. Sources tell us it's believed to be key to Iran's nuclear program. Well, minutes ago at the White House, President Trump was asked if he would strike nuclear sites like this one. Listen to what he had to say. You don't even do it. You don't know.
This is an old report because he already done did it.
What I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before all this death and destruction? Why didn't you negotiate? I said to people, why didn't you negotiate with me weeks ago? You could have done fine. Have you Iranians reached out to you? Yes. And what did you say? I said, it's very late. You know? I said, it's very late to be talking. It's I don't know. There's a big difference between now and a week ago, right? Big difference. What does unconditional surrender mean? Well, you know what unconditional. Can you explain for those who don't? Very simple words. Very simple. Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it. Okay, I've had it. I give up. I'm no more. Then we go blow up all all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And now they're bullies anymore, but we'll see what happens. Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen. A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And we'll see. The next week is going to be very big, maybe less.
Meanwhile, Iran is doubling down. When asked at what point the country would be willing to abandon its uranium stockpile, the Iranian ambassador responded, quote, Iran is not going to give up its rights to use peaceful nuclear technology. We've got team coverage standing by for us from the ground in Iraq, CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams. And live at the Pentagon, CBS senior national security correspondent Charlie Dackett. But first, let's go live to the White House for what President Trump just said. Let's bring in CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Good to see you today, Ed. What else did the president say? What else did he have to say today that stood out to you?
Well, he suggested he may do it, he may not do it, which of course will be heard around the world as holding us all in suspense as to what exactly the United States may do, if anything, to join Israel in its
Hi,
attack.
how you doing? Okay, this is
White House for talk.
I don't know if this is or new.
Mission of Iran,
But it sounds like it's old. Hold on, y'all.
Saying that is not the case, essentially denying what the president suggested.
Like I said, I do not believe nothing this man that comes out of this man's mouth. I do not. He say one thing and he do something totally different. Now sometimes he say he do. You know, hey, you can't totally dismiss everything. But
every day and tell Benjamin Netanyahu keep going as it continues its operations against Iran.
That was a little older. Hold on.
With Iran, he was
I wanted to play something that I watched on my video on my
sense of the president's thinking on all of this. In essence, supports what Israel's up to. He thinks Iran should have talked to him sooner.
You know what I think someone should do, because I'm not really up to date on AI, but someone needs to get that when they did the release on how they actually carried the operation. Somebody need to take that transcript, upload it to AI, and have AI create a simulation of what they did. Because, like I said, that the whole operation that they did in itself, it was immaculate. Like now that I will give them some kudos for, but the fact that they actually did it is just crazy. Because I think that would be something just to see, because the amount of detail that actually went into that, and that goes, like I said, to our United States military forces that don't speak nothing for Trump at all, because he ain't the one who's doing this. This is our military is actually doing that. So so who I'm giving those accolades to is the armed forces. Hold on, but I wanted to play something that I was watching. And this is just a short clip talking about what it's talking what's actually going on and why all this stuff is actually started. So to kind of educate everybody on what's actually happening here. Hold on, I found it.
This right here is a gold play button from YouTube. You get this when you get 1 million subscribers. This is a silver play.
The United States and Iran have one of the world's most complicated and controversial relationships. The United States is the world's most preeminent superpower with a population of more than 300
And I can still see everybody, so
Iran is a major power in her own right, with a population of more than 80 million. These countries represent 4% and 1% of the living human population. And for the past 41 years, they've had absolutely zero diplomatic relations and have come close to the brink of total war on more than one occasion. At the beginning of 2020, war between the two sides seemed almost inevitable. The United States assassinated an Iranian major general in a drone strike, and Iran retaliated by initiating artillery strikes against American military bases across Iraq. Had a war broken out from there, it had the potential to become the biggest conflict in human history since the Second World War. This time, that fate was thankfully avoided. But in order to understand how it got so close and why it could still happen during another crisis in the future, you've got to understand the entire history of the conflict between America and Iran so far. And that story begins back before the start of World War II. At the beginning of the 20th century, oil was first discovered within the deserts of Iran by the British. As more and more of these discoveries were made, it was revealed that Iran, in fact, contained the fourth largest proven reserves of oil anywhere on the planet, and that the country was an undiscovered and unrealized energy superpower. The only problem for the British, of course, was that these discoveries were located within Iran, and Iran wasn't within Britain's vast colonial empire that all spanned a quarter of the globe. Not too worried about that pesky little detail, Britain negotiated a deal with Iran to share in the massive profits that were bound to come from the extraction of all this oil. They created the jointly owned Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, but it wasn't exactly set up very fairly. Iran, the country where all of this oil was actually located, was only entitled to 16% of the company's profits, whereas the other 84% of profits were going directly to the British. By the start of the Second World War, the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company grew to control all of Iran's oil and grew to become the largest company in the entire British Empire. But this massively valuable asset was coming under threats. Discontent at the company's terms was growing within Iran itself, while at the same time in 1941, Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union and opened up the largest military front line ever seen in human history. Iran stood geographically at the Soviet Union's southern flank, and their intentions were considered suspect by both the British and the Soviets. Despite having declared neutrality at the onset of the war, Iran's ruling Shah, or emperor, was widely considered by the Allies to be too friendly towards the Nazis. If Iran were to have cooperated with the Axis, it could have opened up another southern front for the Soviets to deal with that would have diverted vital troops away from the critical Eastern Front. It could have jeopardized the Soviet Union's own oil fields in the Caucasus right on Iran's doorstep, would have potentially placed Britain's largest oil company in the hands of the Nazis. So in order to prevent any of that from happening, and in order to ensure that Iran could be used as a transportation corridor to get vital supplies into the Soviet Union, neutral Iran was invaded by both the Soviets and the British. Vastly outnumbered and far behind in technology, Iran never stood a chance and surrendered within just a week. The old troublesome Shah was overthrown and replaced by the invaders with his much younger 21 son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, whom the Allies felt would be far less capable of acting against their interests. Iran was effectively occupied for the entire Second World War by the Allies, which eventually saw the deployment of more than 30,000 Americans and the transportation of nearly one-third of all the supplies that America sent to the Soviet Union. After the war ended, the Allies left and ended their occupation, but fair terms that the British had established in regards to Iran's oil came back into question. By the early 1950s, Britain was still taking home the majority of Iran's oil profits, while the conditions for Iranian oil workers and their families remained terrible. At the same time, the British were also withholding all of the company's financial records from the Iranians and had refused all of their requests at being audited. The support for nationalizing the company within Iran was getting overwhelmingly massive, and by 1951, Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, with unanimous approval from the Iranian parliament, finally did so. Britain responded to this by immediately embargoing all Iranian oil, and then 2 years later, in 1953, Britain's MI6 and America's CIA organized a military coup within the country to overthrow Mossadegh's government. As many as 300 Iranians were killed during the coup. Mossadegh himself was placed under house arrest for the rest of his life. Shah was elevated to being essentially an authoritarian dictator within the country. Having had his position installed and guaranteed by Western powers twice now, the Shah became widely viewed in Iran as little more than a Western puppet. And as the Cold War developed out of the ashes of the Second World War, Iran's strategic location at the Soviet Union's southern flank, her vast strategic reserves of oil, and her authoritarian leader who owed his position and loyalty to the West, made Iran a natural and valuable ally of the United States for the very first time. The Shah pursued a staunchly pro-American and pro-Israel foreign policy, and for decades, Iran became one of America's most important Cold War-era allies. But over the decades, the Shah's policies and cozy relations with the West alienated much of his home base support. He ran a vast network of secret police within the country who arrested thousands of political opponents, and many more, like Ayatollah Khamenei, were exiled. Widespread torture of political dissidents in prison was reported. He outlawed the Iranian Communist Party. He continued friendly relations with both America and Israel, despite nearly none of the rest of the Islamic world even recognizing Israel, while he carried out a domestic policy of modernization, secularism, and the enfranchisement of women. All of these policies combined alienated Iran's leftists, the working class, and the hardcore Shiite Muslim conservatives and clergy. And by the 1970s, Iran's long-standing political unrest had transformed into full-scale revolution. A movie theater was set on fire in Abadan that killed at least 420 people, with the Shah's regime blaming Marxist and Islamist insurgents, while many of the protesters felt like it was more likely the Shah's own secret police. The following month, protesters gathered in the capital Tehran's main square, and the Shah's army opened fire on them indiscriminately, killing and wounding hundreds more. More than 5 million Iranians took to the streets demanding the Shah's abdication, and after defeat from his army became rampant, Mohammad Pahlavi realized that his position was impossible to maintain, and he fled the country in exile in early 1970. The new radical Shiite Islamist government that replaced the Shah's regime immediately abolished the monarchy and invited Ayatollah Khamenei back to the country after 15 years of exile to become Iran's new supreme leader. And the modern Islamic Republic of Iran was born. And this new Iranian regime was radically different from the one that it preceded. It was a totalitarian Shiite theocracy that was staunchly opposed to the United States and mass executions and purges of political opponents and members of the former regime almost immediately carried out. To the United States and the rest of the world, Iran's Islamic Revolution came as an enormous shock. Almost overnight, Iran had flipped from being one of America's most important Middle Eastern allies to her greatest Middle Eastern enemy. After the Shah was overthrown, the United States welcomed him into their country for a cancer treatment operation, and the new Iran demanded that he be extradited back to stand trial for the crimes that he had committed throughout his reign against the Iranian people. Knowing that his return would mean a certain execution, the United States rejected all of Iran's demands, but that did little to dissuade Iran's revolutionary paranoia. Since the Shah was actively inside America, and since Western powers had already initiated 2 previous coups in the past to install him over the will of the Iranian people, the paranoia was widespread that America and the CIA could be plotting yet another 3rd coup attempt from within their embassy inside Tehran. And so, in November of 1979, thousands of Iranian revolutionaries and students stormed the American embassy and took 52 American diplomats and civilians as hostages. America eventually sent the Shah away to Egypt, while the Carter administration worked for months to secure the hostages' release. But when diplomacy went nowhere, Carter authorized a raid by the United States Army Rangers in April of 1980 to attempt a rescue operation. But the raid turned into a disaster. Codenamed Operation Eagle Claw, a helicopter crashed into a transport plane before any contact with the Iranians was even made, and 8 American soldiers lost their lives. Carter ordered the mission to be abandoned, and the hostages remained under Iranian control. At this point, the United States decided to sever all diplomatic relations with Iran's new regime, and they have been frozen ever since. But a few months later, something else incredible and unexpected happened. In September of 1980, Saddam Hussein's Iraq launched an all-out invasion of conquest into Iran. For years preceding this,
I
Saddam had
remember
wanted
this.
Iraq to
I was a kid, man. It
overtake
was my
bringing
dad. My dad
Iran
went to war.
dominant power in the oil-rich Persian Gulf. But they were never capable of doing anything about it, because Iran had a colossally larger military, and they had the support of America and Israel, all of which made her vastly more powerful. But after Iran was thrown into chaos by her revolution and regime change, with massive purges and execution of officials, and after she was abandoned by both America and Israel and was left without any major foreign allies, Saddam calculated that now was better than ever to take advantage and attack. Iraq expected a rapid victory, but the war that followed turned into an 8-year-long stalemate that most resembled the Western Front of World War I. After the massive Iraqi invasion, Iran was forced to reevaluate the American hostage situation. and they agreed to release all 52 into U.S. custody after holding them for 444 days. America levied heavy economic sanctions upon Iran as a consequence, and then began supplying Saddam and Iraq in their war effort that they hoped would destabilize Iran even further. The Iran-Iraq War would ultimately prove to be one of the largest and the bloodiest of the 20th century.
What a lot of people don't realize is a lot of the weapons that they have over there, we gave them.
Losing their lives across the front line, owing in part widespread deployment of chemical weapons and landmines from Iraq, who is being heavily supported with conventional weapons by the United States. Throughout the war, the U.S. contends that Hezbollah, a Shia Islamist militia organization operating out of Lebanon, who is a client of Iran, carried out multiple anti-American terror attacks across the region. In 1983, they carried out a bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, which killed 17 Americans, and later that same year, they carried out another massive truck bombing attack against the barracks of a military compound in Lebanon, which killed a further 241 American and 58 French soldiers. These events and others contributed to the United States placing Iran on their state sponsors of terrorism list the following year in 1984. April of 1988, the Iran-Iraq War was still raging, and Iran had mined a large section of the Persian Gulf in order to counter the Iraqi Navy. An American frigate happened to be passing through, struck one of these mines, and became severely damaged and almost sank, but with no loss of life. Regardless, America decided to initiate a retaliatory attack against Iranian targets and initiated Operation Praying Mantis. It was the largest U.S. naval combat operation seen since the Second World War. It saw 2 American surface groups launching coordinated strikes that blew up 2 Iranian offshore oil platforms and sank 6 of their warships. The attack destroyed or severely damaged half of Iran's entire fleet and killed 56 Iranians, while resulting in only 2 American deaths. Just 3 months later, in July of 1988, an American cruiser strayed into Iran territorial waters and received warning shots fired from Iranian speedboats. At the same time, Iran Air Flight 655, that was taking its normal flight route above from Tehran to Dubai, and was at this point flying over Iran's territorial waters above the moves. The American cruiser misidentified this commercial aircraft as an Iranian jet, and, assuming that they could have been under attack, they launched a missile that targeted and then completely destroyed the whole plane.
Killing innocent
There were
people.
200 people on board that flight, and 254 of them were Iranians. None of them survived the missile strike, and it was the deadliest aviation shoot-down incident in history until the horrible shoot-down of Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 over Ukraine by pro-Russian rebels more than a quarter century later. These deadly events between both sides sharply escalated tensions between America and Iran, and each felt that the other had done harm towards them. In 1995, the Clinton administration enacted a total embargo on all dealings with Iran by any American-based company, which effectively killed all trade between both countries. In 1996, the Iranian Hezbollah carried out yet another terror bombing strike against a U.S. target in Saudi Arabia, this time killing 19 American Air Force personnel and wounding nearly 500 others. And then, 5 years after that, came the September 11th attacks.
We all
Just 4
know
months
this, don't
after
we?
9/11, U.S. President Bush made his Axis of Evil speech, in which he lumped Iran, Saddam's Iraq, and North Korea all together as an axis of evil conspiring against America. Just a year after that speech, the United States used the pretext of Saddam possessing weapons of mass destruction to invade Iraq and completely toppled his regime in around a month. No weapons of mass destruction were ever uncovered, and the message sent to both Iran and North Korea was clear as day. It was
People just
either
losing
develop
their life
nuclear
for no
weapons
reason.
or
No
you
weapons was
next.
ever
North Korea
recovered.
managed
A
to
pointless
successfully
war.
test an atomic bomb just 3 years after the American-led invasion of Iraq, while Iran hastily carried out their own nuclear weapons research as well. However, the United States made it clear that a nuclear Iran would never be tolerated, and a combination of sanctions and diplomacy were used for years to try and convince Iran to stop. By 2015, the Obama administration successfully negotiated the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. better known colloquially as the Iran nuclear deal. The treaty's terms are complex, but the TLDRs that agreed to end a sweeping series of sanctions they had previously placed upon Iran, while Iran agreed to give up their pursuit of nuclear research and allowed foreign inspections to routinely investigate them. Iran's and America's relationship was beginning to show some signs of rapprochement. But then, things took another curveball.
Y'all, hold on.
The cave of Rama can activate a wide range of new powers, abilities, and states of consciousness. We will explore this method to activate.
Y'all, I'm sorry. I get real passionate when it comes to this war with our soldiers and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm from a military family, and it's just too much. Whether or not we lost people from these done behind wars, or they done got injured, or they're still suffering mentally from these wars.
That included a vow to fully withdraw the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal and to reinstate tougher economic sanctions. In 2018, Trump carried through with these campaign promises. Iran counter-threatened that they would continue on with their nuclear program and even close the Strait of Hormuz to international shipping if things escalated any further, which would have completely crashed the global oil economy. Relations between the two were back to being tense, and then things got worse the next year. In May and June of 2019, several merchant ships traveling through the Persian Gulf were damaged in two separate violent incidents. The West blamed Iran, and then Iran denied all involvement. In June, Iran shot down an American drone that was flying over the Strait of Hormuz, and tensions increased even further. And then in July, an Iranian oil tanker was seized by the UK as it was passing through the Strait of Gibraltar on the grounds that it was shipping oil to the Bashar al-Assad regime in Syria, in direct violation of EU sanctions. Iran countered this by capturing a British oil tanker and taking its crew hostage as it was later passing through the Persian Gulf.
Hey,
Both
Miss.
sides eventually
Hey, Miss
released
Biz.
the
How
other
you
ships and
doing?
crew,
Hello, little
but it is
mommy.
clear
Thank y'all for
that tensions
joining.
were reaching a
Don't
boiling
forget to hit
point.
that like button, y'all. I'm just showing everybody what this whole thing is really all about. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what's going on as far as the media and what argument is leading y'all to believe. This is not what they're not what is put out there to the public.
America blamed the attack on Hezbollah and other Shiite Islamist militias supported
Or
by
if you don't
Iran.
know, our
Both
dumb
Hezbollah
behind
and Iran
president went over there
denied all
and bombed
responsibility. At
Iran.
this point, there were about 5,000 U.S. troops who were stationed in Iraq.
And now
who
our
were supposedly
soldiers
fighting against
are
ISIL.
in
2
jeopardy.
days later, on the 29th,
Shoot, we
they
are,
decided to
depending
initiate
on how far these
retaliatory
people
strike
take it.
against Hezbollah's weapons depots and command centers across both Iraq and Syria.
Oh, thank you
These
so much,
American
Miss Big.
airstrikes killed 25 Hezbollah-affiliated militiamen and wounded nearly 60
This should have
others,
never
escalating
happened.
things even
This
further
man,
a couple days
once
after that
again,
on December the
before
31st. Iran-backed militiamen stormed
discussing
and
this
attacked
with
the United
Congress,
States
took it
embassy
upon
in Baghdad.
himself to
The
do
embassy
this.
was heavily vandalized, but nobody on their side was killed, and the U.S. blamed Iran once again for the provocation. And then came the 3rd of January 2020, when the already high tensions skyrocketed to levels never seen before. Qasem Soleimani, an Iranian major general widely believed to be the second most powerful figure within the Iranian regime, had
He
just
really does
arrived
need
in
to be
Baghdad on a
impeached.
flight.
They need to
He
get
was
him
scheduled
out
to
of
meet
that
with
seat
Iraq's Prime
ASAP.
Minister later on in
He
the
needs
day,
to be
but
gone.
as he departed the Baghdad airport in a convoy of vehicles,
Because the one we're going to suffer in the end is the United States people and our soldiers. We are going to pay with every soldier that perished in this unsenseless war.
And resulted in the deaths of Soleimani and 9 others. This event profoundly changed the crisis between Iran and the United States. It was the first time that America had assassinated a major military leader of a major.
We need to be worried about our own stuff. We need to be worried about what's going on with our economy. We need to be worried about making sure we're okay.
Of the Pearl Harbor attacks. 2 days later, Iran announced that it would no longer abide by any of the terms of the 2015 nuclear deal and demanded that Iraq remove all of the American presence from their country. And then, on the 8th of January, 5 days after Soleimani's death, Iran launched its own retaliatory strike against America. Codenamed Operation Martyr Soleimani, Iran initiated multiple ballistic missile strikes against 2 U.S. military bases within Iraq, and the entire world held its breath. This was the closest that America and Iran ever come to full-scale war, and the crisis could have easily escalated into that. America had already rapidly deployed thousands of soldiers in the Gulf from the U.S. East Coast in the days between Soleimani's death and this Iranian artillery attack. But thankfully, nobody was killed by it. The bases experienced significant damage to buildings and infrastructure, but everybody present remained alive. And this was sort of a godsend because it gave both Iran and America the opportunity to de-escalate without losing any face. Iran got to look strong and powerful by firing rockets at American targets, and without any casualties, America was given the option not to retaliate, which is what they chose to do. Unfortunately, though, tragedy still managed to find a way to strike. While Iran likely designed the attack intentionally to not cause any American casualties, Iran didn't necessarily know that the US wasn't going to retaliate, and their anti-air batteries across the country were on high alert for any kind of response. One of these missile batteries detected what they believed to be an American cruise missile on their radar, and they opened fire on it with 2 surface-to-air missiles. It turned out that the target wasn't a cruise missile at all, but was just a regularly scheduled commercial airliner that had just taken off from Tehran International Airport mere minutes before. The plane in question was Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752, flying from Tehran to Kiev with 176 people on board. The Iranian missiles completely destroyed the plane and killed everyone aboard, including 82 Iranian and 63 Canadian citizens. Initially, the Iranian government denied all responsibility and attempted to cover the disaster up by blaming the crash on technical faults with the plane itself. Raising suspicion when they wouldn't allow any investigators access to the crash site, the government finally admitted to mistakenly shooting the plane down a few days later on January 11th. That attempted cover-up sparked massive protests in Iran and against the regime, and the brink of war against the United States had just narrowly been avoided. Hundreds of innocent people died as a result of the conflict between Iran and the United States in 2020. But of course, it could have always been far worse. Had the conflict escalated by any number of countless different ways, all-out war could have broken out that would have resulted in deaths of many, many more. I only hope that peace between my country and Iran can be maintained in the future, but at the same time, I'm aware of how precarious this peace is and the history behind all of this. And I'm fearful that one day in the future, we might not get as relatively lucky as we did at the beginning of 2020. This video was originally released
Yeah, I was reading your comments. So you said so much is being said on the news. Do you think the US is in trouble? I think, oh yeah, I think this is probably going to begin. Well, it ain't, I don't even think it's going to be the beginning. I think this has sparked a war. This is definitely have sparked a war. Now, how far in depth this war is going to happen? Now that's the part that's yet to be seen. Hold on real quick.
There's a new breakthrough in hearing technology, and it delivers the sharpness of high-end.
Good morning. Today, breaking news and historic day for the United States, Israel, and the world. The U.S. bombed.
Now how far going to go and to what extent? That's the question. And really, like, they need to be honest with the American people about what's actually happening. They're trying to sugarcoat a lot of it because that's why I showed that clip to show people exactly what is going on. What is the issue between Iran and the United States? This thing has been going on for a minute now. I mean, this ain't nothing that just started. For them to be sitting up there trying to blame the Biden association for what's happening with Russia and China. No, 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 no. This has been going on for a long time, and partially because we keep putting our nose in something that ain't got nothing to do with us, personally. And it's all about control and power over oil. That's all this is. It's all it boils down to. But unfortunately, lives are going to be lost, and I really think like they need to be honest with the American people, make so that way they're on alert. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, y'all know I was scared from flying in planes anyway, and I just got my behind on one last year. But before all this is going on, like we see it for I mean, open your eyes, we're seeing it for ourselves. Planes flying out the sky left and right, not only commercial or planes for regular people. I'm talking about government planes as well. nosediving. That just don't happen. Something has been up and been going on all along. Now, far as how they're going to retaliate against us, we better be on some serious alert with these people. We better keep our eyes open. We better, I mean, I'm not saying this to say to because a lot of people associate, Iran with Muslim people and stuff like that. I'm not saying that by no means, but you need to keep your eyes open because of the position that they don't put us in. Um, a lot's going on behind the scene, much more hidden from us, but we all know there's more to the story. Right, right, Biz. Uh, Power Bible prophecy is being truly fulfilled. Exactly, Cheryl. And that was another point that I was making. Um, All you got to do, y'all, if y'all want to know what's really going on, read the book of Revelations. It will explain it all. That's one of calling them Iran. I called them by what they're known as. They're known as Persia. Persia. I mean, the new name is Iran, but their name is really Persia. This has been a war between Iran, Persia, Israel. The Middle East have been going through this for years, for centuries now. I mean, and it ain't gonna change, and it's not gonna. I think they're gonna have a brief peace at one point in history where nothing's gonna happen, but it's gonna be short and it's going to be brief, and it's gonna go back. It's gonna be all out war, and we keep putting our noses in stuff that don't have absolutely anything to do with us. That's what point at this point, if we know we are that reliant on oil for us to be so rich and powerful, why haven't we developed something of our own that we are not solely relying on them? We got Canada because they got pissed off about the tariffs that were basically threatening us to shut off everybody's electricity. And then on top of that, if you're around here pissing off people that supplying our oil for our gas, you're in dispute with Elon Musk. I mean, the one who's the head of all the cars around here. You don't piss this man off. The bottom line, they need to remove him. Point blank, period. All he's doing is causing us chaos. And the people that are being affected, he ain't necessarily being affected. I mean, he got all the money that he needs. He has all the protection that he needs. The ones who are being affected is the civilians. Point blank, period. And Congress need to step their game up. They should have been shut this down. This shouldn't even came to this because this man has been doing stuff ever since he has taken that seat. He has, I mean, he started, he started and start going through all of us. It ain't just one race over the other. It's not just one nationality over the other. It's all of us, y'all. This man got a personal vendetta because y'all did not vote him in when he tried to run 4 years ago. And so because he still got this grudge and because his ego is so freaking bad and because he thinks he's God himself. And I don't know what's up with that Vance. There's something about him that just don't sit right in my spirit. That man just, he looks evil. He seems evil. We know nothing about this man. I mean, for all he could be worse than Trump. Huh? But, and it seems like he just co-signing on everything this man is saying and doing. Instead of somebody saying, okay, Trump, chill, like you're putting us in a bad light. You're putting all United States citizens in jeopardy. What about us? We ain't got secret services watching us. We don't have tons and tons of money. We don't have this. We're the ones who are going to be effective. You don't think so? Think about past couple of months. Eggs are near $10 for 12 eggs. Come on, y'all. I mean, the way the tariffs is going to put on people, the job losses that can happen for government officials who are struggling, looking for some serious employment, and they cannot find it because just too many people are unemployed. Too many people are out there looking for jobs. This man has change the way all companies look at diversity. He's going now. I agree with deporting the correct way, the ones that are not supposed to be here, the ones that are criminals or whatnot. But the ones who were born here and you're trying to rewrite our constitution saying that we are the only ones that have a debt. If your parents were immigrants and you're born here, you're considered a United States citizen. Hogwash. It's over 30 countries that does that as well. We're not the only ones. Please research the way stuff is, our higher society is ran. Stop seeing by money and flashy things, and really understand what is truly happening right before your eyes. This man is literally destroying everything. Everything. I mean, he's about to start on religion at some point. I'm sure. He has attacked our financial system. He has attacked our political system. He has attacked the science system. Literally, he has attacked our food. He has attacked our people. Like he got us literally turning against ourselves. He literally ordered the National Guard and put them on alert and sent them out to LA to go against your own people, you idiot. Like, how can anybody stand behind this man with a clear conscience? How? How can you? Uh, hold on, let me go back. I am from the Caribbean. Oh, that's nice, Kenneth. I'm going on by lots of going on behind the scenes. I think I read that. I just love your. I'm not really sure what you're talking. Are you talking about gap in my teeth? I mean, I was born with it. I was born that way. So, but yeah, I guess he's a danger to our society as a whole. Right, Ms. Biz, he is, and people need to wake up. This man is on a power trip. That's all it's boiled down to. He is on a power trip. He wants to show who's in control. Didn't get me in there 4 years ago. I'm in here now, and and something inside me is telling me he's going to try to even change it to where after these 4 years, we saying he ain't gonna be there, but for 4 years, he's gonna find some kind of loophole because the Constitution says that you have to consecutively serve 4 years. You can only serve 4 years in a row. He's gonna find a loophole where because they took that break, he can then run again. So y'all better get this man out while you can, or else we all in trouble. We all are in trouble. Y'all around here celebrating Juneteenth now, but you ain't have nothing if we remain on this course. None of us. Um, where are you from? I'm from Florida, hon. Yes, I read Revelation. My mom, my grandma taught me about these things. When the cry of the people and security is announced, sudden destruction will instantly upon mankind. That is God decree. Amen. We should have stayed out of it. Now it's game on. Correct. I get help in Israel, but not to this extent. Yeah, right. And like I said in that video, Israel is God's chosen people. Don't get me wrong on that. Okay. But just like loves Israel, he loves Iran too because they came from Israel. Okay. So let's just be real. They are just a nation that done broke apart. But it ain't everything that Israel do that is right. Just like it's not everything that we do is right. Just because they're God's chosen people don't mean that everything they are doing is the correct thing. Let's remember here, these people, they attacking them as well. If somebody attack you, you don't think you're going to attack them? You're not going to protect yourself if they're initiating the attack? Iran, I mean, we're looking at it on really, Israel was the one who attacked them first. It was not Iran who attacked Israel this time around. It was Israel. So they counterattacked. What else do you expect? You can't, out of one breath, tell somebody, we're going to sit down and we're going to come to some type of peace agreement because they didn't do it the way you wanted to as fast as you felt they should. Now you going in and buying up their stuff and then go back and say, if you retaliate, we're coming against you all forces. It's time to talk. You're not finna go attack somebody and then tell them it's time to talk. That's like a robber coming into your house, robbing you, and saying, "Oh, don't do nothing. They don't call the police because I'm coming in here robbing you. Oh, let's sit and talk about what I just did. By the way, give me all your stuff." What in the world is this man think? What in the world are people thinking that are following behind this foolish? I want to say some other stuff, but I'm trying to hold my tongue. Behind this crazy behind man. Hey, P, stop by to say hey. Hi, Miss. How you doing? I just get so freaking passionate when it comes to just our citizens, period. But especially when it comes down to our soldiers, because like I said, it ain't like they got a choice. It ain't like they can say, okay, I'm not gonna do it, because then they behind is on. They are forced to do it. But that's why they do not give that much control to one person. Stuff is supposed to go through the Congress before it is executed out. This man did not go through Congress for this. In fact, they're trying to impeach him as I speak this video because this is just one more thing they're adding to it, far as getting him out of that seat. He's a freaking lunatic, and we're under him. It's almost like he's trying to turn this into a dictatorship instead of a government. Because ain't no way one man should be able to do what he has been able to do since he been sitting in that seat. Everybody keeps saying, "Well, oh, he can't do that. He can't do that," but he keep doing it. So it's time to remove him. Point blank. Period. It's time for him to go. I mean, almost half of the people that voted for him, they hitting themselves in for voting for him. Okay, it's time for him to go. Get him out. Supporters turning against him. Correct. And that says a lot for for the few idiots that still sitting around here commenting some, oh no, he's the best president we have. He's the only one that's going to do what is necessary for what is necessary for the world to do. Absolutely not. It's just y'all. Y'all just don't know how ticked off I am right now. I got still currently, a lot of close family lines that serve in the military as we speak. I told my dad, especially when at one time when we're talking about Russia attacking us just a couple of years ago, and I was like, "Well, what do you think? Are they gonna attack us?" And he was like, "Well, one thing for sure, baby. If they do attack us, we ain't got nothing to worry about." I'm like, "What you mean we ain't got nothing to worry about it?" He said, "Because we sitting right here on this base. So what do you think getting hit first?" I'm like, "Dad, don't even joke like that. Don't even first joke like that." But really, it just have you feeling like that, like. You're like getting ducked, just like y'all went in there and attacked them. Guess what? They can do the same thing for us. So what is good for the goose is good enough for the gander, okay? But like I keep saying, the ones that are going to be affected are us. It's the people of the United States of America. And y'all either, I mean, if you can protest against it. If you can write your congressman, write your congressman. We need to get this man out of office. He needs to be gone. Now, I'm not really sure how this works if they impeach him to the whole unit go or do they just transfer it down to Vance. I'm really not sure. But one thing I do know is he needs to go. My nephew has 1 year left in the Navy and he is upset big time, right? So many military people are. So many military people are. Like and subscribe to Marino. You should start a podcast titled that tomorrow. No. Oh, I might have to keep that in consideration, Miss Sally. Oh, thank you so much, Kenna. Oh Lord. But y'all pray. Y'all pray for our soldiers. Pray for our nation. Pray that they get this man out of here. He lied and said he was not going to go to war. He said he would prevent and stop it. Like what the hell? Right. Right. He lied and told these people I'm gonna give you 2 weeks and then gave him 48 hours. Like 2 weeks equivalent in his mind 48 hours because that was not no 2 weeks, sir. Where can I meet you? Meet me right here on these lives or inside my videos, Kenneth. You can always have access to me right here. Oh Lord. But yeah. If I get passionate on these videos, y'all gotta forgive me. But like it's just rubbing me the wrong way. It really is. Where are you from? I'm from Florida. I am from the United States. I am from Florida. But my thing, I do have a little Haitian in me. From Haitian descent. But I myself is from Florida. Do I need a wrench? Oh, well, hold on, Miss Sally. Let me go ahead and give you one. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I think Kenneth is just he's just someone being nice. That's all. I don't think he means no harm. Um, yeah. Sometimes y'all know these trolls can get out of control, especially when it comes to these lives. But like I done told these people, I don't play when it comes to lives because I don't stay on lives too long. So I ain't got time for y'all for foolery when y'all on here. But I think Kenneth is pretty cool. Uh, thank you, Miss Sally. But y'all, thank y'all for letting me vent, letting me, share what I know with everybody. What's coming, that's going on. I love talking about. I'm a commentary, so I love talking about various things. But when it comes down to our nation, our security, our livelihood, our lives, you best to believe I'm going to be up on it, especially when it comes to this man. Miss T needs to go tell Trump he better step down. Have a good insight and advice. Thank you, Miss Biz. Thank you so much. But as always, thank y'all so much. Please hit that like button. If you are subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as always, be your brothers and your sisters keeper. Thank y'all so much for y'all support. Be your brothers and sisters keeper. Always keep God first, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next live or in a video, but I always respond before she report anything. I ain't one of her biggest fans again. You have a blessed one too. All blessings to everyone. Thank y'all.